Good afternoon, everyone, wherever you might be joining us around the world or on the big screen here at the Rolex Sydney Hobart Race Village. My name's Peter G, and joining me for this Day 2 update on the 2022 Rolex Sydney Hobart, we're privileged to be joined by distinguished ocean racer Peter Shipway, a veteran of 31 of these great races from Sydney to the Tasmanian capital of Hobart. And Peter, as far as ocean racing goes, Yachties couldn't ask for much better than they've had over the last day, 1 day and 3 hours.
Well, that's right, Peter. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. It's been very good sailing, good tough downwind conditions, lovely conditions yesterday after the start down the New South Wales coast, and then quite fresh across Bass Strait today. And that's propelling the leading boats and all the fleet really very quickly to Hobart. But things are going to change later tomorrow afternoon for the smaller boats when that southwesterly change covers the fleet. But the big boats and the middle-sized boats will be well and truly in by then. At the moment, we're seeing Andoo Comanche. As expected, the race favourite is well ahead. She's 18 miles ahead of a real battle for second place between the other three Maxis. Law Connect, Hamilton Island Wild Oats, and of course Blackjack. They're only a couple of miles apart, but just a short time ago, Andoo Comanche had 165 miles to go. She's 70 miles east of St Helens. She's well to sea and well to east of the rum line, but I think any hope of a record has probably gone by now. She's got to do it, got to do 165 miles in about 7 or plus hours. So she really can't do that, I don't think, unless a miracle happens. But unfortunately, that won't happen. But at the moment, things are looking very good for line honours for Andoo Comanche.
And this is the line honour situation. Each boat has a transponder which is sending the information back to the satellite and out to everybody around the world on the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Tracker website. Go and look up your favourite yacht for yourself, but this is the situation, the top 7 there on the water. And why is it, do you think, that Andoo Comanche has stolen a march, a best part of 20 nautical mile lead? It's hers to lose, really, the Illingworth Trophy at the moment. Why has it got ahead of its 3 main rivals?
Well, I think, Peter, she's a boat that's designed to go fast, designed to break records, and that she's done all over the world since its launching in 2014. And of course, she holds the Sydney Hobart race record. She holds the 24-hour monohull record, and that was 630 miles, I think, across the Atlantic. She holds the transatlantic record. She holds the trans-Pacific record. She's won the Fastnet race, not in record time. A big, wide boat, loves the fresher conditions, but a new crew have jumped aboard this year, and they've improved her performance considerably in the lighter airs, but they haven't seen much light air in this race. She's wide, beamy, a lot of stability, and she loves these hard downwind conditions, and we're seeing that today as she's jumped out to that lead. But very close, as I said, between the second, third and fourth boats. There's only, 4 miles separating, or less than 4 miles. So the real battle at the moment, as far as line honours is concerned, is the battle for second.
Well, earlier this afternoon, a report from on board Andoo Comanche, Justin Schaefer, estimated time arrival at the Iron Pot, which is at the mouth of the River Derwent behind us. That's still 11 nautical miles to go, was 10 o'clock tonight, which means she won't break the race record. So that might even being a little bit optimistic,
Yeah, it's still fresh outside, and she's got to, of course, get across the bay to the Iron Pot. But yeah, I think she's going to fall short by probably a couple of hours.
Maybe we can take a look at the Yacht Tracker and just see where they are on the water in relation to that race record. Stefan Racing, the Maxi Chaser, finished behind the Maxis last year, but the TP 52s have really mixed it right from Sydney Harbour. They were right there at the start with the bigger boats, and they've managed to, not keep them within their sights, but that's where the battle for overall honours would be fought out, you would feel at this stage.
Yes, the weather models before the start indicated that was going to be the case, that those TP 52s there got a very sweet spot in the rule, especially downwind, and that some of those boats are incredibly fast. They're keeping up, they're 52 feet in length, obviously, by the definition, but they've kept up with some of the 60-footers, and they're right in touch for handicap honours. And at the moment, I think the first 4 boats on handicap are TP 52s, but there's a lot to fight out. They've got well over 200 miles to go to the finish, and it's going to be fresh to frightening tomorrow. coming into Tasman Island for those boats. If they think it's fresh now, it's even going to be fresher tomorrow, 30 knots plus.
Do you think if we'd had tomorrow's forecast northerlies up to 45 knots, the record could be in danger right now?
It could well have been,
Yeah.
I think. I think they've just been a little bit slow. It's still 20 knots plus today, but really to break the record, you've got to be averaging 25 knots. And to average 25 knots, you've got to be doing your 30s plus all the time. And of course, come into the river, you mightn't be doing 6 or 8 or 10 knots, so that really knocks your average apart. But I think if we could get perhaps another look at the tracker, I don't know whether that's possible, it just gives a good indication of how far, there we go, how far Comanche is behind the other record when she set in 2017. The boat with the orange sails there is LDV Comanche. That's where she was positioned at this time in relation to the
south
record.
Of the Freycinet Peninsula coming
up. She's off Maria, really.
Maria,
and you can see the red sails there. I'll just expand that a little bit. There's Andoo Comanche. She's back off St Helens. And there's the 4 Maxis, just going out a bit wider. There's Blackjack, Hamilton Island, you can see a little bit close to the rum line. Andoo Comanche almost in line with Hamilton Island Wild Oats, and these 2 other boats expand that further. There's Blackjack and Law Connect very close together. So these other 3 back, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, they will converge when they get to Tasman, but Andoo Comanche at this stage well in command of the Line Honours battle.
Peter, you know what makes this race special, having done it so many times, but what is it special about the Rolex Sydney Hobart for the skippers of the boats at the head of the fleet, the Maxis?
Look, more than anything, the Rolex Sydney to Hobart's an adventure. It's about 630 odd nautical miles of challenging conditions. It's about friendships that you form and you carry on for years. I think it's a cornerstone of yachting.
It's one of the most iconic ocean races in the world, and we've been a part of it for many, many years, and the Oatley family have been fantastic supporters of us. To just be back, such a fantastic fleet of boats and competition.
With the epic boat that we've got in Andoo Comanche, with the amazing team of the best sailors we could find from around the world, there will be nothing short of a Line Honours victory in the Rolex Sydney to Hobart this year.
We're going to be pedal to the metal and blasting down the coast at really high rates of speed. It's going to be an exceptional race.
Win or bust, nothing less, it would appear, from the skippers of the Super Maxis, 100-foot masters of the sea, and thankfully none of them have busted so far. Only 3 boats have retired from the race so far. It's a great contrast to last year. We'll bring you up to date on those a little bit later on. But that was speculation before the race from the skippers of the Super Maxis. Over the past 24 hours, yachts have been sending us short video diaries from on board of just how things have been out there on the east coast of Australia.
Here we are aboard Rum Chaser, off to a good start. What a magnificent day for sailing. Rum Chaser out.
Yeah, we've had a pretty decent morning coming across Bass Strait. The breeze is slowly building now and steady down in the low 20s.
Really good run last night, about 20 knots or so, give or take, through most of the night. We had spinnaker up. Swapped over to the smaller spinnaker at one point. That was interesting. We'll see how it goes. Beautiful blue skies. And we're just finishing our first sked for the day, and we'll continue sailing.
I guess it's nice just to get a bit of a relaxed afternoon now and send it down the coast for a little while.
Yep, the canopy should be out soon.
Beef stroganoff.
And Moroccan lamb.
Peter Shipway, when you first did this race, the only contact with the outside world really was the radio skeds twice a day. Things have moved ahead a little bit. You've got to be a media performer on board the yachts themselves these days.
Yes, but isn't it terrific? It just gives the public such access to what's happening on the boats, what's happening in the race. It really keeps this race alive, and even now we can see pretty exactly when these boats are all going to arrive, who's winning on handicap, the photos from the boats. It's marvellous, really, and I think it really adds to the spectacle of this great race.
And That's a shot from a drone. This is something which has revolutionised the coverage of ocean racing. A helicopter couldn't get as close as that. The downdraft would just cause havoc. But the drones can get to mast height, and we're really going to see that tonight sometime. Well, it's probably going to be in the dark, so we mightn't see it this evening. But tomorrow, when the TP-52s come in, we'll be able to bring you live coverage with drones in the air, showing you what's going on the deck, and you'll almost feel like one of the crew. This is really, the technology just goes ahead leaps and bounds every year.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really. And also the navigational tools aboard each of the yachts, so that they can plot their course, they can get the weather, and they can put it into weather routing maps and everything, and they can really tell you before the race starts when they're going to tack or where they're going to jibe. And it's really sophisticated now, and it is absolutely fantastic to go to sea in all these boats and see what is available as far as weather and weather routing is concerned, and I think it adds a real dimension to this race.
We're very proud of the coverage we're able to bring to you wherever you are around the world, or here in the Rolex Yacht Race Village. Law Connect, for people that would like to log on to their website, are streaming the entire race live from on board the yacht. They have a media crew there, and this is some of the footage that they have shot from on board the Super Maxi Law Connect. So this would have been a drone that they have sent out. They've got a crew on board a chase yacht here. This is probably off the coast of Sydney somewhere. Here's a drone they've put up purely for their own content, and it helps expose their sponsors in a way that you couldn't have dreamed of once.
And I think it shows, Peter, just how quick these big boats are. I mean, she's one of the 400-footers. Look at that, 3 sails in front of the mast, and of course the big mainsail. And the power of these boats is extraordinary. You can see the width of it there. She's wide like Andoo Comanche. 3 headsails up, triple head rig.
I don't think I've seen so many storm sails up as we saw yesterday.
Well, why that is, that's the orange sail, that little jib there. They're only allowed to carry a certain number of headsails. And obviously, by definition and rules, you've got to carry a storm jib. So they can carry that storm jib, obviously for the storm conditions, but they can put it up as another jib when they're reaching like that, so they can go to a triple head rig because they're short on headsails because of the rule.
I mentioned the retirements. It's been virtually trouble-free apart from 3 yachts that have had to pull out with gear failures. We've had another yacht come out this afternoon, and that's Koa from the CYC, has lost its rudder.
Yes, that's very disappointing for those boys, but hard running conditions put a lot of stress on the rig and the rudder especially, because there's a lot of movement involved. But Enterprise Next Generation from Western Australia has stood by Koa to make sure everything's shipshape, and that's the first rule. You've got to, stand by your fellow competitor if there's someone in trouble. They've stood by. They're racing back again, but they will claim redress, and I would think that'll be fairly granted when they get to Hobart.
So a jury will work out how much time they've lost in helping a fellow competitor. Safety really is paramount and the #1 priority, so they won't have lost any time on the racetrack.
No, the jury will take into account how much time they stood by and any conditions that might change later in the race that could have affected them by the time they get, say, to Storm Bay or to Tasman Island. So all of that will be decided by the jury, but I don't think there's any doubt that they will be granted redress. Just how much it is, it'd probably be more than what they claim, but who knows. But it'll be, for the supporters of Enterprise Next Generation, who's been doing very well, that she'll probably get a bit of extra time when she finishes.
106 yachts still racing, but of course the initial excitement is all about line honours, and we'll be going live to wherever you are. If you want to hop back on, you'll find us covering the finish tonight. It'll probably be it will be certainly in darkness, no moon out this evening. It's been a very hot day in Hobart. The sea breeze is in right now, so that would push, if it stayed in, it would push the leading Maxis up the river, but invariably when nightfall comes, the boat, the wind starts to drop out as we see a kayaker just off where the winning yacht, the Lion Honours winner, will be moored at King's Pier sometime tonight, early tomorrow morning.
Well, just very quickly, Peter, the forecast from the Bureau of Meteorology tomorrow is a gale warning for the waters south of Maria Island. As a strong, at the moment, there's a strong wind warning out for that same area, so it's going to get fresher tomorrow, and there's a gale warning current for tomorrow in the afternoon before the southerly hits.
So the northerly will really pick up to about 45 knots before that. Well, in Sydney you'd call it a southerly buster.
Yes, I'm just reading here from the Bureau of Meteorology. Northerly 20 to 30 knots, reaching up to 35 knots offshore early in the morning. So they've issued a gale warning. So it's going to be fast and furious for those 60 to 50 footers, and they're going to be absolutely flying down that coast. Get across Storm Bay, and I think one of the TP-52s will probably take the chocolates at this stage.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Peter, for bringing us right up to date. I hope wherever you are that you can join us. Keep an eye on the Rolex Sydney Hobart website and the Yacht Tracker, and you'll know just how much further Andoo Comanche, should all remain as it is now, is from the finishing line, and you can cross to us live. We'll stream the finish from here on the River Derwent. Until then, it's good afternoon from Hobart.